Welcome,
Welcome.
Housewives of True Crime.
Hi.
Getting to the end of July. It just was my anniversary. It's your anniversary coming up.
It's actually the end of June, Tab.
Oh, sorry, I said July. I meant June. It's coming up on July. Yes, and you were married in July. I was married in June.
True.
Just had the 16-year celebration.
Oh, geez. Congratulations. You didn't even post a sappy post or I missed it.
Because it's on Friday and we're recording on Wednesday.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sappy post.
Post coming.
I'll look forward to it. I've just been lost in all of this. I am fascinated with this Justin Timberlake DUI.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Well, it was
breaking my heart that this happened.
Oh, I know. It really is breaking my heart too. But he has the sexiest mugshot photo.
Okay.
Of all.
So, yeah, it is. But do you look in his eyes? Because either he has been crying.
He was crying me a river. He was saying this is going to ruin his tour.
Or he is drunk as a skunk, okay? Because they are glassy and red.
If he ran a stop sign and was swerving all over the road, I can imagine he had too many drinks, which Justin Timberlake, come on, we talk about it all the freaking
There's
time.
No excuse. There's just
no
excuse.
I thought it was in New York City, and I was like, dude, there are like 500,000 Ubers on every damn corner, but I guess it was in the Hamptons. So
still.
And
I'm not familiar with the Hamptons.
I'm not either.
But I am familiar with Newport Beach, which is like our little Hamptons-ish, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure the people in the Hamptons are like, oh, please.
Well,
right?
Listen.
Hamptons has got Newport Beach. But what I'm saying is in our little version in the Orange County, everybody is wealthy and drinking a lot. You don't have to wait 1 minute to get an Uber.
And he should just have a driver, like on hand.
He should just have a driver. You've got the money.
Yeah.
Jeez Louises.
But he does have a brand new spanking car, 2025 version. I was like, I didn't even know those are out yet. So.
And by the way, if you're so drunk, let's say that you're still bold enough to run a stop sign. Like, don't most people that drink and drive think like, I'm going to go under the speed limit?
I don't think he saw the stop sign.
That was drunk, Justin.
That's
it's very sad.
Well, thankfully he didn't get
hurt anyone or himself.
Something like that.
Yes.
The police pulled him over pretty quickly. And I guess the police officer was so young, he didn't even know who Justin Timberlake was. So,
oh, that's got to hurt his ego too.
Totally.
That's probably what he was crying over. He's like, shit.
He's like, wait,
you haven't heard of me at the floating stage on tour.
Did you watch the Trolls movie? You got this feeling inside my bones. Then the police officer's like, oh,
he's
yes,
like,
yes.
Yeah,
he's like yesterday.
Cartoon character guy? No. Not cool enough to get out of a ticket.
No, he definitely wasn't. I guess his camp came over. They tried to get him out of the ticket. Not happening. So, and you know what? I appreciate that.
Yeah, I do respect that.
I do.
Yeah, you done wrong. You done effed it up.
Okay, so I just want to, I know you Patreon listeners all heard that I know there was a lot of fluff in the air about my last case. So we're going to take it to the other side next week. So I just want to preface that.
Okay, I appreciate that because I think you did kind of tell it a little more one-sided than we generally do.
Yes, I would agree with you.
Okay, but I also want to say maybe save your visceral fucking shit for yourselves, people. Like we always say, we don't take ourselves that seriously. You shouldn't either.
Well, listen, so I have now started listening to every ounce of the trial, which is a shit ton. Okay, I'm listening to it on 1.75 speed. Because I need to get all the information in. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that the police did that is real cuckoo bananas that I didn't cover, and I will cover it. I don't know if it will change my opinion, but I do think, and which everybody says, is girlfriend's got to get off, and I do agree with that. I think she will. even if she
Okay.
did it.
Well,
There's just
I
not
have
enough evidence.
not.
But yeah.
So
So
I
let me.
am looking forward to hearing it.
Yeah. Last week, my daughter broke her damn ankle. And
Sucks.
it sucks so bad, dude. I mean, you guys, Summer, broken ankle, supposed to be going to Junior Olympics for pole vaulting, done. Playing, basketball is summer season, done. Like our whole summer just got different.
Not to mention,
So-
you live in the state of Texas, which we regularly, if
Oh,
everybody didn't know, knows is
Mm.
it's hot as balls.
I know.
I was thinking about you. I was thinking, what could they do? And everything I'm thinking of revolves around water. And that's a problem. Or you could do like city stuff, but the city is hot as balls too.
I know.
Like every big city. It's like it's a really bad time to be in a cast.
Okay, so they're not casting it anymore. I got second opinion.
Oh, okay.
So she's in a boot. It's a big ass boot. Like,
But still, you can't go in the water.
no, but he said she can get in the pool, like at our house, and not be playing, volleyball in the pool, but she can be in the pool. So she can be on a
Okay.
raft and hang out. Yeah. So that's better than the cast. Originally, the
take
first
it.
people were like, cast it forever, basically. And 12 weeks later, you're going to have to like get physical therapy and all kinds of BS. This route, we're going different route.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's what's happening over here.
Speedy recovery.
Thanks.
Wishes for Kyla Kane and you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Godspeed. A teenager on the loose that is grumpy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And stuck at home with her mama.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, should we get into today's case?
We should.
Okay. Today's case is going to take us to Birmingham, Alabama. I have never been to Birmingham, but I would not mind going at all.
That is the one place in Alabama that I would take myself to right now. Also.
Yeah, lots of museums. You could get Kyla around there in her boot.
True.
Yeah, true, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Tricia and John Abney were siblings that were living together with Tricia's boyfriend, Jeff Martin, in a one-bedroom apartment in Birmingham in 1995. Tricia was 18 months older than her brother, who was just 18. So it might sound like Tricia and John were new to adulting, but I think they probably grew up pretty fast because both of their parents had passed away in 1986.
Oh gosh. How? Do you know?
I am actually not sure how, but I know that it involved separate instances that same year.
Dude, it sounds like the case I just did, right? I mean, how that is bad luck.
Yeah. So Tricia and John and the other brother went to go live with relatives as kids.
Okay.
As a teenager, when Tricia hooked up with Jeff Martin, her uncle was not a fan of the new boyfriend, and this led to some sort of falling out and Tricia moving out of the uncle's and moving into an apartment with Jeff at the age of 17, and then encouraging her younger brother to do the same down the road. I think encouraging her brother to move in with her sounds like a nice big sister thing to do.
That is.
I mean, most of us maybe don't want to have our little brothers come live with us and our boyfriend.
No, but I can see how if your parents died, it's just you two. And so
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, they must have been real tight.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. But still, Tab, three's a crowd sometimes.
True.
So on June 3rd, 1995, Tricia asked her brother if he could make himself scarce for the night because it was her boyfriend's birthday and she wanted some alone time with him.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. So Tricia dropped her little brother John off at the bowling alley around 8:30 p.m. John thought the bowling alley was a good place to kill time, played some pool. While his sister and his boyfriend had their, romantic rendezvous. So I'm picturing Tricia setting up some romantic dinner, taper candles, for her and Jeff to enjoy before they get their freak on, right?
I mean, sure.
That's what you do. Okay. And then,
Because they're not married.
Because they're not married. Yeah.
Because I didn't do that for my anniversary. It hasn't actually happened, but I just will tell you I didn't.
I think your husband would really appreciate some taper candles.
He would really appreciate it. But I have 23 of my family members coming this weekend on my anniversary.
Right. That's not very romantic, Tab.
It's definitely not romantic, but we will play a fun game of murder.
Oh, that is romantic. Super hot. Okay, well, so the plan is she's going to have romantic rendezvous. Then, after they're done, she's supposed to go pick up John from the bowling alley. But it seems that Tricia had other plans. Tricia went to Sammy's while Jeff stayed at the apartment by himself. Sammy's is a strip club in Birmingham, which is still open for business, just like it was in 1995. And side note, it has mixed reviews. I checked out the scene, and I think the Volcano Club looks like the finest club in Birmingham, if that is your thing.
Not Sammy's, you're saying.
I enjoy reading the strip club reviews.
I think I would too.
It's not a bad time at all.
Okay, so hold on. You're saying Sammy's is not as nice as the Volcano Club.
Well, I don't want to disparage the business. It's been in business for a long time, but I'm telling you they had mixed reviews.
Okay.
So I'm not
the
recommending
cocktails or about the girls. Which
about
one?
the whole thing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So why, you ask, was Tricia at Sammy's? Well, that's because she worked there as a dancer on occasion, and on this occasion, she ran into a young man named Justin Barnett. Justin was pretty new to Birmingham. He had just moved there with his girlfriend Sheila the year before. Justin, by all accounts, was a nice guy. He's described as having a young, free-willing spirit and one of the nicest guys you ever met by his best friend, Todd McGlynn. Todd had encouraged Justin to move to Birmingham. They're just a couple of kids. A new city is so fun to explore when you're in your early 20s.
Totally.
The world is your oyster. So Justin got himself a restaurant job in the city, but he also had a little side hustle. He sold the drugs.
Oh.
Exactly what type is debatable. His girlfriend, Sheila, acknowledges that she knew her boyfriend sold weed, but she didn't approve of that sort of thing, and so they didn't talk much about it. But Sheila was aware that he kept his stash of the green stuff and cash in a backpack that he kept with him all the time.
Okay, so it wasn't he's not flying in airplanes. He's just the side hustle
guy. Yeah. Well, according to others, Justin stole more than just the Mary Jane, as in cocaine and ecstasy, and that is possible, I'm sure, but from what I understand, regardless of what he was selling, he was a real small-time purveyor of illegal substances. Okay. Not that I condone
any
drug dealing
right,
or anything, but some are just worse than others, than those that dabble.
Right.
Okay. Especially those that dabble in dumb stuff side hustle, drug selling when they are young, like Justin, 23 and not fully formed cerebrally speaking.
And then we're talking 90, you said 95?
95. Yeah. You don't want to know what I was doing in 95.
I had some
people.
Maybe my boyfriend was also dabbling in that kind of behavior.
Yeah.
I never did it, but I was attracted to those type of guys at the moment at that
and
age.
Me. So. Yeah. So adjacent.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so on June 3rd, 1995, Justin found himself at Sammy's where Tricia was. On this particular night, Justin was driving his girlfriend's car, a Geo Prism. I, too, drove a Geo Prism in the 90s.
That time, too.
Yeah.
Gretchen had a hard time keeping herself not bumping into other cars.
I did have a couple
Geoprism.
of rear-ending occurrences that I was at fault.
In that
Okay.
car.
In that car, yeah. Okay. Well, Justin borrowed his girlfriend's Geoprism car for the evening because his Trans Am, which he had named Bertha, had a little muffler issue and he didn't feel like getting pulled over, especially if he was going to be drinking. And now I just thought, isn't that ironic? We're talking about Justin Timberlake.
Oh my God, yes, another
DUI,
Justin.
and we're talking about another Justin who back in 1995, not cerebrally formed at 23, knew you got to keep a real low key if you're going to be drinking and driving. Not that I condone that.
Especially, by the way, if you have a bag
just
full
keeping
of
it real.
drugs.
Word.
So,
Okay.
And there was no Uber at the time.
And how about a Trans Am? I haven't heard that word in a while.
Oh
They
my
still
God.
make those? That's crazy.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay. Well, so Justin and his girlfriend had split up for the night to go to different parties with different friends around town. So Sammy's was just a pit stop for Justin. And by the way, his girlfriend did not know anything about Justin stopping by Sammy's, right?
Okay.
He didn't like advertise, I'm going by the strip club. And according to Tricia, Justin stopped by Sammy's a lot.
All the time.
Tricia says he came in Sammy's with his backpack full of drugs and money that he generously tipped her with, which sadly made him a target for Tricia. You see, his generosity was not enough for Miss Tricia on this particular night, and she wasn't opposed to getting her hands on the drugs in his backpack as well. Tricia and Jeff had a plan to get every last dime and drug Justin had on him. It turns out Tricia and her boyfriend's idea of romance really didn't have anything to do with tapered candles and a nice dinner at all. Their idea of romance was plotation.
Oh.
And by the way, part of her plotation was lying to her little brother because it wasn't even Jeff's birthday. His birthday wasn't even in the month of June.
She totally lied.
Pants are on fire. Okay, so Jeff and Tricia plotted together to get Tricia to go into Sammy's and lure Justin Barnett to the apartment where Jeff would be there waiting, and then they would rob Justin.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the real reason why she had dropped off her little brother at the bowling alley, because she didn't want him involved. But he ended up being involved anyways, because the robbery did not go according to her and Jeff's plan, and both Tricia and Jeff stabbed Justin to death in the apartment that night. Yeah. To get rid of the body, they had another disturbing plotation, and it was messy and time-consuming. And so after hours of Justin calling from the bowling alley for her to come and pick him up, which she finally did, she told John on the ride home that they had to, quote, take care of Justin. John knew who Justin was because he had met him once before. All he knew about him, based on the one brief meeting, was that, according to his sister, Justin sold drugs. When John and Tricia arrived back at the apartment, John recalls he smelled bleach, and then he saw Justin's dead body, which has haunted him ever since.
Dude, for sure.
Well, Tab, especially given the condition of the body. John says that he can't even recall warning for what he was fixin' to see, which was Tricia in the kitchen washing knives like it was nothing, and what was still remaining of Justin. You see, Jeff and Tricia had decided to chop him up in the bathtub.
Using knives?
Yeah.
Dude, I can hardly even cut chicken. Like,
I mean, to me, obviously we talk about murder all the time, but murderers that do disturbing things like
this,
chopping up,
it's
so next level.
It is like, how was she throwing up too? I mean,
no, he said She acted like it was nothing.
No
I mean,
way.
you got to be real cold-hearted to be able to
my
do
God. I mean, seriously, like my son also can't even eat my husband's cooking without throwing up. So like our family would just be like real bad. Like I would,
that. Real bad.
I
Right.
can't like,
Yeah.
how do you go from robbing this
He's just
guy
18.
of his
He's like,
drugs and money?
I thought you guys were just going to get your freak on. What the hell? Right?
Oh my God.
So Jeff was in, or not Jeff, John was in shock while they loaded up the body parts in trash bags and put them in Jeff's car. They asked John to drive the Geo Prism Justin had driven there that night so they could ditch the vehicle, and so he did that. And then got in the car with Tricia and Jeff, and the three drove to a wooded area in Bibb County where they left the bags with Justin's remains.
What is wrong with
Sadly, while all this was happening, Justin's girlfriend was left wondering, where the F is my boyfriend? She had been paging him all night and was so worried when she had not heard from him that she called the police.
Yeah, pagers.
Yeah, pagers. Yeah. I had a pager.
I did too. It was purple and it was like that big. It was like an inch.
Yeah.
If you're watching on YouTube, it was a teeny tiny one.
Yeah. So the police apparently told her there wasn't much they could do. And a few days later, a friend of Justin's found the car in the spot where John had driven it to. Sheila called the police to tell them that they had found the car, but not her boyfriend. But she says they weren't interested and they didn't come out to inspect the car. Sheila did all the things you do when your loved one is missing. She put up flyers. She called everyone that her and Justin knew in both Birmingham and South Carolina, where Justin was and her were originally from, to see if anyone knew anything. A friend of Justin's told her it was possible that Justin went to Sammy's that night, that he went missing. And so, she's following every lead. So she took herself down there. She spoke with the manager and asked to speak with a girl who worked there that she had heard might have seen her boyfriend last. But the manager told her that girl doesn't work here anymore. So she went to the police with all the information she could gather several times, but she says the detectives just blew her off and told her her boyfriend likely just ran off with another girl. After months of getting doors slammed in her face, so to speak, she stopped contacting police and moved on the best she could, but in her heart, she never let it go. She just didn't know what to do. And, neither did Justin's friends and family that had been searching for him and answers as well. As for Tricia and Jeff and John, they all got on with their lives as well, too. Jeff and Tricia broke up not long after that, and Jeff got married and moved to Mobile, Alabama. Tricia packed it up as well and lived in Texas for a couple years before returning to Birmingham. She did not avoid the law while she moved on with her life. She racked up a couple drug charges and a third-degree robbery charge. She married a man named Michael. At least they say they're married on social media, but I did not find evidence that they were actually legally married. Okay. And you would think that if they were to, she would have changed her last name, but it's still Abney. Maybe Tricia and Michael lived together in Birmingham. I just don't get that vibe. Okay. Or, I would think that. Yeah. I mean, she could just be like too lazy to go down to the, Social Security office or, like whatever. Yeah. But I just don't think so. Okay. So they're living together for years, decades actually, and doing the things we all have the luxury of doing because we are alive, unlike Justin and not in prison like his killers should have been. Right. Things like posting on Facebook, new outfits, inspirational quotes.
Oh, she's posting inspirational quotes.
Sure. She posted, "Don't let your past determine your future." The irony of that one was that literally the day after she posted it, she was arrested and charged with capital murder.
They found her.
Looks like her past did dictate her future.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
yeah.
Let's see how that trial ended.
Well, it took her brother, John, 20 years, but thankfully he decided to go to the police and tell them what he knew. The burden of everything he had witnessed that night had been eating away at him, and I'm sure it didn't help that he was right pissed off at his sister to the point he hadn't spoke to her in a year. The last time they had spoken, he told her something like, "You know what, sister? I'm going to make sure you go to prison for the rest of your daggone life." Well, Tricia probably thought, like, whatever. It's been over 20 years and he hasn't turned me in by now. He's never gonna. Plus, he was there. He's like an accomplice and he's not going to put himself at risk. But
well, that's what
Tricia
she's
was
thinking.
Wrong. After John went to the police and told them he knew of a 20-year-old murder and identified Justin, who they had in their files, as a missing person, they decided to go have a chat with Tricia. They told her they were just conducting an investigation and that she wasn't a suspect. She spoke with them pretty freely, and they returned a couple more times to talk with her. By the way, she was recorded in jail later saying she probably never should have talked to them and just fled. I mean, hindsight. But also, Tricia, hindsight is you should have never committed the murder. You should have some remorse. That does not sound very remorseful.
Dude, she is not remorseful. Sounds like when she killed him, she wasn't remorseful. I think if I was going to rob somebody and not actually murder them, and I accidentally like went overboard because of my adrenaline or something, I would be freaking the F out. Like I wouldn't, I just can't imagine that I would cut somebody up. Like I think I would not do that. I wouldn't. I can't. I mean, I know that I wouldn't, but
yeah, I know that you wouldn't, but
she sounds like really has a hard soul, which maybe has something to do with her parents dying at a young age and having to like harden her heart anyways, you know?
Yeah, I hear all of that, what you're saying, and I think that's valid, but also I recognize that a lot of people have tragic things happen and they don't go around cold-blooded killing and chopping people up. Thank God, because everybody has something, okay? And it clearly bothered her brother for the rest of his life, and he had the same situation.
True. Well, true.
Right? Okay, so of course, police also went to go talk to Jeff, Tricia's ex-boyfriend, who had been off in Mobile, Alabama, living a normal life. But you know what? When they went to go talk to him, he told the police, "I don't have to talk to you." And he never did. Jeff ended his own life a few days after police stopped by.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
What kind of life was he leading? Did he have children or?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Probably because it was eating him up for his whole life too.
Yes. Yes, I believe so. So now Tricia is their number one suspect, and they brought her down to the station for the next round of questioning. They had her and her brother John sit down together in an interrogation room while they watched and taped it. Tricia said Jeff is the one that stabbed Justin, but she admitted to her brother that she sort of stabbed him a couple times too. I mean, Tricia, you are not the brightest crown in the box, right? You know they're watching you. Have you not seen one episode of Law and Order? Two-way mirror, right? They're watching everything you say.
I can't believe she did that.
So after she confessed that part, on tape, she was then charged with Justin Barnett's murder in 2015. 20 years later. Justin's family and friends were notified, and they had to learn the grisly details about his death that no one should ever have to hear. They started a Facebook group called Justice for Justin after she was arrested and shared trial dates and info, like that, as well as where they would be conducting searches for Justin's remains so that he could finally be laid to rest. I have to report, sadly, they have conducted numerous searches and Justin's remains have never been found.
Never.
Tricia did not take a plea. And pre-trial, what I learned from that Facebook group is that her lawyer applied for a youthful offender status due to the fact she was under 21 in 1995. The request was not approved. While she awaited trial, she was released on a $60,000 bond, so she got to be home with an ankle monitor, which meant basically 2 more years of freedom for her since her trial didn't take place until 2017. In an attempt to raise money for, I assumed, her bond and maybe legal expenses, Tricia's boyfriend husband made a GoFundMe to reunite Tricia and Mike. Well, that did not go over well in the Justice for Justin group.
Yeah, I can imagine It did not go over well at all.
No. And people in it reported it and it was taken down. It appeared Mike did actually raise $5.
$5?
So I am curious who that donor was. I don't know. When Tricia did finally go to trial, her attorney argued that she had been denied her rights because she asked police during their multiple chats if she needed a lawyer. But listen, kids, everybody knows you don't say, "Do I need a lawyer?" You have to say, like, "Give me a damn lawyer." Right? So she was not denied her rights. Her brother testified against her. He, by the way, was never charged with anything. John testified that he believed his sister and Jeff had always intended to kill Justin because they already had the trash bags and the shovel. And when he got in the car with them, there wasn't a discussion about where they were going to go take the body parts to. And so he figured they'd already planned that out ahead of time. Justin's girlfriend, Sheila, also testified at the trial and broke down on the stand. I mean, the whole thing is such a nightmare for her and all the people that love Justin to have gone through. He was just gone and there were no answers.
So sad.
And it didn't seem to matter to the police.
Right. Well, probably because they're like, this kid was selling drugs and he's at a strip club and it's like not,
it is. Yeah, it is tragic. But I know I'm 46 now. I have a lot of, 46-year-old male friends who did a lot of dumb stuff.
I know.
In their 20s that are fine, upstanding citizens today.
I know.
Right?
I know.
So it just, it's really unfortunate.
Listen, I do not think it doesn't sound to me, and I don't know. I mean, who knows? But it doesn't sound like he might have been on a bad path, but maybe not a bad path forever, right? So
yeah, maybe not a bad path forever.
He wasn't,
no, I don't think he was,
or
no
trying to hurt anybody or drive-by shooting. So the guy's probably
he's like working
doing
he's working in a restaurant doing weed. The person who says that he sold ecstasy and cocaine is Tricia. Okay, so we have to take that with a grain of salt.
Got it.
Okay.
Although I can imagine she wanted cocaine over.
Probably. And so there is a possibility, but that maybe, he did have some of that on him or something. I don't know. Maybe he made some bad choices, but,
Tricia made a real bad choice.
Yeah. No excuse.
And Tricia got away with it for a long ass time. So
it's really sad that those choices, I think, take away in the police eyes, it takes away the validity of him being missing.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I understand their point of view, but it just sucks.
Yeah.
So there was also a jailhouse informant who said Tricia admitted to her that she had cut off Justin's head. It's bad, right? So I am not really sure why, with so many cards stacked against her, Tricia went through with a trial instead of taking a plea.
Hey,
She was, of course, found guilty.
listen. Why did they need to dismember him so much?
I mean, I guess that was their way of getting him. They lived in a little one-bedroom apartment in a busy part of town, so I guess to get him out of the apartment and into the car.
Huh. I mean, isn't there like, I don't know.
A better way to do it? Yeah. I mean, I think a better way to do it would be like get a gun, lure him to the apartment or something. I don't know, like tie him up or something, hold a gun to his head and take him out to the woods. I'm sure there's ways to avoid. I mean, it all just should be avoided. I don't know. We probably shouldn't go there. People get mad when I do.
I know, but I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like,
yeah, it is so twisted. Yeah. So she was found guilty and sentenced to life without parole. She is serving her life sentence at Tutwiler Prison.
Okay.
It is a maximum minimum security facility. It doesn't seem that terrible. They have a cosmetology program and an automotive program.
Cosmetology? They could do hair and makeup. I mean, that sounds awesome.
That doesn't suck.
No.
Right? They also have something I have never seen on a prison website, and that is you can order prison-approved shoes for your locked-up loved one from a special catalog.
Okay.
And have them, direct shipped.
Wow.
That's new to me.
Yeah.
So from her latest mugshot, she looks about the same. She is not unattractive.
Oh, she's attractive?
She's not unattractive.
She's in the cosmetology school of prison?
I don't think she's in the cosmetology program. But, she's got long brown hair. She is, fit.
Okay.
I mean, she clearly has not been using 5 crimes, so I'm not going to say she's like a stellar,
she's
beauty.
not glowing.
Okay. Yeah. No. Does not have a steady skin regimen. And years of drugs can take a toll.
Yeah.
So I think under the circumstances, she is not unattractive. That is what I'm saying.
I bet you she's still doing drugs in the Clink.
Maybe. I hear they're pretty easy to get.
I could not believe how easy they are to get. I mean, it is. I was talking to one officer. This guy like OD'd in the Clink. I'm like, you're getting that much?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I believe they've stopped looking for Justin's remains.
Oh, I mean, it's been way too long.
It's so sad, but that they were not able to find them. I hope they do have some peace in the way that, justice was finally served. But, when someone so young's life is taken so tragically, you don't ever get over that.
Right.
I know it really stunted his whole group of friends to have this person that they loved so much just vanish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
I wonder if you ever feel like what happened. These people said what happened, but because you never have your loved one's remains, is there always this little bit of question?
Yeah. I think so.
I think I would. I think I would always just question.
I think I would probably, always go back. Yeah.
Well, that is a terribly tragic end of a life, and a very stupid. Okay, wait, sorry. Can you go back for 1 second? What happened to the brother?
He was never charged with anything.
Oh, he wasn't. Okay. Well, you know what? I I think that is probably,
I think that's probably the right
I
decision.
think that's the right decision also. I do think it's the right decision.
It was clear he wasn't involved in it, and I think that it is also, by not prosecuting him, it is encouraging to other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's not okay that it took 20 years, but it's better than taking forever for his family to get some kind of, answers.
Totally.
So, thankfully he did get it off his chest.
Yeah. We, when we go to CrimeCon, we get so many people reaching out to us about their loved ones that are missing. And a lot of them are around Justin's age, right? Like,
Yeah.
most of them are. And they're young men like that. And their families are just, I mean, they're in desperate need of finding their loved one. And I don't know, it's so sad to me. So
I feel so sorry for this group of Justin's, family and friends, because, those people at CrimeCon, I know you just want to feel like you're doing something, and we have social media now. You can have a platform. You can go to CrimeCon. You can spread the word. There are so many more ways that you can keep momentum going.
Yeah.
And back in 1995, they didn't have any of that.
Right. I don't think they'll ever find him, but I'm glad that they got some justice. I hope all these other men and women that are missing, somehow, maybe somebody will come forward even 20 years later and tell you what happened. There's always hope, So thank you for that. If you guys want to check us out an extra day a week, you can go to our Clink Clink Club if you follow us on Apple. If you follow us on Spotify, we are on Housewives of True Crime bonus content. You can find us. You can click right on Spotify. It takes you through the Patreon link. Or if you love Patreon and you have others, you can go to patreon.com/Housewives of True Crime. And we are there. On Patreon, we also have different levels. So we have a sticker club and then a VIP club where you get actual stuff. The sticker group did get a bunch of stickers recently, and I'll be sending those out again soon. And also we have 5 crimes. So if you need to have glowing skin like Gretchen and I do right now, or you need your hair to grow nice and long, or you just love a good shower scrub that is the best thing ever and it smells delicious, go to 5 Crimes. That's FIVE crimes.com. And that is another way to support us. And it's also supporting your skin needs. So you're welcome. Check it out. And until Thursday or Monday, if you only listen to us on Monday, clink, clink.
Clink, clink.